to new developments tonight in a story KXLY4 has been following for more than 2 years. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nadine Woodward. A Spokane Valley woman shot and killed by her husband. He says it was an accident. It will now be up to a jury to decide if a crime was committed. Dwayne Thurman pleaded guilty, not guilty that is, to first-degree manslaughter for the January 2016 shooting. He told investigators the gun went off as he was cleaning it. His attorney says Brenda Thurman's death was a tragic accident, but prosecutors say Thurman had extensive firearms training from his military background and service as a reserve deputy, and that he was recklessly handling a loaded firearm. That's the question the jury will face in this case. KXLY4's Caroline Rourke working for you. She was at the courthouse today, where attorneys worked a second day now to seat a jury. Caroline?
Nadine, if you've never seen a jury selection or been called for jury duty yourself, it is a fascinating process. Think of it as an extensive interview over the course of a few hours, or in this case, a couple days. These attorneys are trying to get to know everything about potential jurors, who they are, what they do, how they feel about certain things, so they can seat an impartial jury to hear a case. For the 50 or 60 potential jurors in the courtroom today, that's the case of Dwayne Thurman. Thurman is charged with first-degree manslaughter in the 2016 shooting death of his wife, Brenda. Court documents say they were at their kitchen table in January of that year. Thurman was cleaning the handgun he'd gifted his wife for Christmas. The gun fired, Thurman says, accidentally, and it hit Brenda in the chest. Prosecutors charged him with manslaughter the next year. As the attorneys work to seat their jury, there are several questions they need to ask. A main question: have you heard of this case before? In the newspaper, on television, or even on social media? For at least a dozen potential jurors in the courtroom today, the answer to that question was yes. But that's not all they're asked. The prosecutor asked the pool whether they watch crime shows or if they dislike lawyers. But he spent most of his time asking about guns. Do potential jurors own them? Do they use them? Do they have strong feelings for or against them? Thurman's defense attorney also spent a lot of time talking about firearms, particularly whether potential jurors believed a gun could be fired accidentally. He also asked them what they thought about judicial concepts like innocent until proven guilty or proof beyond a reasonable doubt. When I left the courtroom about 4:30 this afternoon, the jury was close to being selected, but not quite there yet. We will be back in court tomorrow as the trial gets going. In studio, Caroline Rourke, KXLY4 News.
Thank you, Caroline.